again to conduct the business of the Van Alstyne City Council. We ask that you help us, give us strength, give us your knowledge, wisdom, and ability for us to carry out these duties as you see fit. We ask that you continue to bless our community, our first responders, our citizens, our business leaders, and our local government. We also ask that you continue to bless our country and may the right persons get in place as far as the elections to avoid any turmoil. We also ask that you protect our servicemen here and abroad, and all these things we ask in your Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Pursuant to the following designated sections of Texas Government Code annotated subchapter 551, the council will enter into executive session to discuss the following items. A, section 551.072, real property regarding 1, the Van Alstyne Economic Development Corporation purchase of real property referred to as the Armadillo Project related to the Cold Springs Industrial Park. B, section 551.074, personnel matters regarding the employment, evaluation, or duties of the public officer or employee, namely the city manager. And at 6:33 p.m. we'll go to the executive session and we'll speak fast and be back shortly. Yes.
Is this agenda?
Okay. So this is briefing. This is briefing.
All right, 6:54. We can reconvene that cool right there. We need to address item 5B first, or
you could do it since it's listed later in your action.
Okay.
You could consider it out of order or just, yeah.
item 6 through 10 on the consent agenda. We have a chance to move through those.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
I'll second. A motion, second, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by raising your left hand. Item 11. This is consider and take any action regarding adoption of a resolution approving a resolution of the Van Alstyne Economic Development Corporation authorizing the issuance and sales of sales tax revenue bonds by the corporation, approving a sales tax remittance agreement, and enacting other provisions related to the subject.
Make a motion to approve as done. That's stated.
I'll second.
Okay, well, we could read it if we really need to. A motion, second, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Any opposition?
We need to do The other, stuff from executive session?
Yeah, you could address 5B as action coming out of the executive session, which is the city manager's proposed contract.
I would make a motion we approve contract as presented in the executive session.
I have a motion and a second.
Second. Third.
I have a motion and 2 seconds. All in favor, raise your right hand. No opposition. Thank you, Mr. Judge.
You're on the hook for another year, right?
You're stuck.
I have a death clause in there.
And
Nobody
we
can
did-
say
we did modify the employment contract that the death clause is no longer an option.
We did.
Item 12, consider taking the action necessary regarding the voluntary annexation request by the owner agent of an approximately 59.535 acre tract of land, being a certain tract of land located in Grayson County, Texas, being a tract of land situated in the J. McKinney Survey, abstract number 770, City of Van Alstyne, Grayson County, Texas. The subject tract being a portion of a tract conveyed to L.D. Spence and wife Ruth Spence by deed recorded in volume 841, page 660 of the deed of records of Grayson County, Texas. The subject property is generally located at the northwest corner of Spence Road and Waco Street. Is there anybody here who can speak on that?
I don't believe so, but the request for voluntary annexation has been rescinded.
See, I saw that on the back of this one.
It's really just on the agenda to acknowledge for the public that they've rescinded their request.
What? So is that just
I-
getting them?
Yeah, I think that they are working maybe on purchasing more land in the area and will come back. They hope to have annexation and zoning before you for final approval in May.
Yeah, they have, they do go under there, so I'll move that.
And both those will be public hearing matters when they come back, so.
So we will, no action taken. Item 13, moving right along. Consider taking the action necessary regarding authorizing the city manager to hire a code compliance officer. Do we have anybody here to speak?
We do, yeah. Someone that doesn't like to speak a whole lot these days, but I've had our city planner hard at work looking at all of our codes. She has redrafted our sign code. She's working on a food code for the city. And all this requires somebody to get out there and be a code compliance officer, or we're not really effectively using the resources. We have funding available in our budget today in city administration in excess of what's needed to hire this position. And there's a lot of benefits to it. I asked the city planner to come up with a few, and I came up with a few, but bottom line is if we do the job properly, it'll help improve values in the city. It will clean up yards and neighborhoods that need to be cleaned up. It can enforce violations of sign ordinances, which I've seen multiple violations today alone. Address blight. They're compliance, they're not punishment people, so there's a lot of advantages. This person will also be our animal control officer until we grow to the point to where we can split those out. So I'm asking Mother, may I would love to be able to put a job announcement out there and see if we can attract somebody.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the city manager to hire a code compliance officer as described.
I'll second.
Have a motion is second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. I know opposition. So if you know someone you hate, you want to have them do this will be right up your alley. Mr. Manager.
will you have that, do you have an idea when you're gonna have that out there as far as the job description on?
I have the job description
no,
drafted
sorry,
and
the
we'll post it next week, so, or maybe by Friday of this week, so.
So if you post it Friday of this week, and it takes you 2 to 3 weeks to hire somebody, and get them started, you got 6 weeks to get the fence fixed.
Plan ahead.
Yeah, you gotta get your lawnmower tuned up.
Well, I don't think you can do the background in 2 weeks, and it would take some time, so you might have as much as 2 months.
Okay, all right.
Ready, Mr. Mayor? The city has purchased 2 new playground sets. The first will be installed at McKinney Wilson Park. If the weather cooperates, the playground set and the installing crew will arrive on Monday and they'll start work. In the meantime, we've pulled the existing slide and the ladder bar out of that park. We've scooped up all the fall material and set it aside. And we're making ready for the installation company to come in. The swing set will remain. The footprint that new playground set sits on will be a little bit larger. And we met with Encore today. We're going to light that playground. It's always bothered me when kids are playing softball, if they send their children over that playground, there's no lighting over there. There'll be no cost to install the poles and the lights. We'll just have to pay for the electricity. The second set is here. We've taken delivery. It's sitting in our Public Works warehouse. We're saving it for future use once that location is identified. The city is in the process of repairing all the concrete sidewalks at Forest Moore Park. Several sections have either rised up, fallen down, cracked. They're in bad blocking condition. The rains delayed our ability to pull that out and re-pour, but we stand ready to do that as soon as the ground dries out. We're also evaluating the conditions of the existing irrigation system. Our parks do have sprinklers, but they haven't worked for what I'm told is many, many years, like 15 years or so. The baseball fields we have looked at. It's about $2,000 to make that irrigation work again. Definitely a good spend, but we're trying to get a total cost so I can include it in the 2021 budget. We're receiving bids to replace the bathroom stalls at Forest Moore Park, damaged by the recent vandalism. As I mentioned before, all the dividers were destroyed, the toilet paper dispensers, the hand towels, the fixtures were damaged. It was considerable damage. So we know it's a priority. We're trying to get all our ducks in a row to get that done because baseball season is about to begin. But we may have to put an outhouse or 2 out there to get us through until that happens. Thanks to the CDC for funding the planter rings at Dorothy Fielder Park. If you haven't been out there, take a look at them tonight. They're new rings around the trees filled with flowers and lights. It's very pretty. The city has pulled back its solicitation to secure solid waste collection services. We've issued it before, but in discussions with Rizlin, we're going to be adding the match weight development to our solicitation in an attempt to leverage a little bit better fee schedule for our citizens as well. We are struggling with sizable rate increases because of what's happening with landfill costs, so we're hoping this will help us keep that at a reasonable level. Bids are due now on the 27th of March. Our architectural firm doing the planning for the municipal complex, the architects met with each one of our department heads and myself last Thursday to review space requirements and identify any specific needs. This data will be taken back to formulate total space requirements and assist in evaluating the current study that's underway. With this process complete, the WRA will move to develop a pre-design and provide two conceptual plans for council consideration and comment, and that's due in April. Cities received a number of qualified job applications for the position as Public Works Director. We're going to leave that open another 60 to 90 days to see if we can attract a few more candidates. I'll do phone screening, and then we'll establish a panel to select our next Public Works Director. Justin's doing an exceptional job right now. I don't feel rushed to fill that position, so we're going to look until we have the right person. City planner, I told, has been hard at work doing sign ordinances, food ordinances. We'll take both those to planning and zoning on March 18th, and they'll be before council on April 14th. At our request, city manager, police chief, and fire chief met with Sarah Sumner's Director of Emergency Management, Grayson County, to discuss emergency services, resources, availability, and response if the city would receive any report of infectious disease with everything that's going on out there. We want to be ready should we have a need. I'm working on an incentive package with the EDC to help sell the land that they're buying tonight with your approval. They have a company that's interested, and we're going to put our best foot forward into trying to attract them here. I wanted to express my appreciation to Judy Womack for her efforts in organizing and conducting the monthly newcomers meeting. This type of meeting is exactly the kind of meeting that we need if we're to make Van Alstyne stand out from the crowd of cities, realizing rapid growth, maintaining that small town feel centers on people. It's not necessarily on buildings, and she's doing an exceptional job of making newcomers feel welcome in our community right away. So thank you, Judy, for what you're doing. I'll be out of office on Thursday and Friday, March 19th and 20th, because I just can't get enough of this dental surgery stuff. So I'm going to do a little bit more and have surgery on the 19th, and then try and take a couple of days to get over that. And I'll be out again on the 25th through the 27th to attend the International City Management Association Conference and get a little smarter about how to do my job.
That's it.
Holy cow.
Yeah, not much going on.
Well, what have you done lately? Mr. Neal, comments?
Just thank y'all for being here. Again, thank you, Ryan, for everything you do. Chief Barnes, all of our staff, everybody that works with Lane or for Lane and for the city. I just appreciate you guys. All of our volunteers, thank you. I know you kind of mentioned it with Judy, but we can't say enough about what she does, especially just for the town and the people of Van Alstyne. So appreciate all of y'all for being here. Again, we're volunteers, so this is y'all's town, what y'all want. We encourage you to come, show up, tell us, so we can continue to grow accordingly, like Lane mentioned, where we're a bigger town, but we still have a small town feel, and people want to be here. So appreciate y'all. Thank you.
I should know this was coming up. It's funny we get jokes about, we would like to fill the room a little bit more, and I had the drama before, and so it was always full. We don't want the drama back, but bring a friend this time. Bring a friend.
It is election night, hopefully people are still in line.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, we appreciate those that do come out, and we hope to see you next time.
Yeah,
Me?
you
I was waiting for Jessica.
No, you're probably fine.
Of course, I also appreciate that the parks are being given the priority that they deserve. It's an important part of the town. In the past, I just don't think they've been, maintained or given the care that they need. So our guys are, you guys are doing a great job. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the volunteers. Boys basketball playing tonight. So they're going on for bi-regional, so me, basketball game. So round 3, there you go. And next week is spring break, so there will be kids out and about and running around that we haven't seen in a long since Christmas. So be careful when you're out and about. There will be a bunch of kids running around in the sunshine. So that's all I have.
I would also like to thank all the volunteers, especially our boards that have been working really hard this last couple of months, the EDC board and the P&Z board. They put in extra hours to make sure all of our city ordinances and city businesses that are coming in, opportunities and everything. I want to thank all of y'all for all your hard work. Also thank all of our other volunteers. Speaking of events, Saturday we have the Friends of the Library breakfast. Everybody come, all you can eat for $7. Can't do a deal like that.
And it's good.
For a good cause.
And also we had our first Keep Van Alstyne Beautiful meeting of the year last Friday. And everybody, watched. We're going to be doing a lot of good things coming up this year, and we would encourage anybody to volunteer that would like to be a part of it. So I also would like to thank all of our local businesses. They're the heart and blood of our community, and our city staff. Thank you all for all your hard work.
Chief Barton, on the damage at Fort Worth Park, do not all those cases, you don't ask for a restitution letter?
Yes, we do. Yeah, on each case.
Okay.
It may take 20 years to get it, but
I know, but every little bit helps, and its damage was significant.
Yeah.
Once again, it seems like our city planner has really been a great find, and I just want to say thanks again for all your hard work. So many things have actually stirred up a lot more. It really is. Thank you to Ms. Matthews for all the stuff that's going on. We keyed off a lot of that. Finally, thanks to EDC board. This is a leap of faith forward, and really, I think is just a great thing for our whole community on what they're doing with trying to do to develop our community and bring jobs and increase our tax base. So thanks for all your work. This is not easy stuff, and I appreciate you making it understandable for the lay. Most of these people here are finance people, and I'm not a humble policeman. So thanks for all your work. And finally, tonight we did approve a new contract for the city manager, and I think that's reflective on the value we place on him and all the hard work. And we will thank you, Mr. Jones, for that. Other than that, thank you all for being here, and we'll call this done.